Okay, so actually I'm gonna move this over here. Okay, so this is my footage of Doom Raid. Actually, you know what? I'm going to... Sorry, let's start over. I'm going to take off my playlist because I'm probably going to put my own music over this on YouTube later. Okay, so here we are with Doom Raid Tech 1.1. Now, I want to go over this footage really quick for the characters that I did. The reason why I'm doing this in Doom 1.1, I know, for people who are still stuck in Doom 1, you're probably not doing 1.1, and those who are doing 1.1 probably are in Doom 2. That being said, I just wanted to challenge myself a little bit in this lane because I think doing 1.0 would have been a bit too easy. I decided to go with these characters, Shuri, Doc Ock, Dr. Doom, Kestrel, and T'Challa in the middle here, because if you guys have read up on T'Challa's kit, he does actually steal buffs or copy buffs from adjacent allies and then extend those as well. So that's kind of important there. We're just going to be going over the nodes a little bit and then talk about it a little bit as we go through. So Star-Lord... Sorry, I should have backed up there. Star-Lord T'Challa is a really powerful character. You guys might remember this node from Doom 1. The big issue here is with Magneto kind of drawing people in here. And what's interesting about this... Actually, so you saw that T'Challa actually cleansed that, and now what's interesting is that now he's adjacent to a lot more of his allies in this node. So if he does use the ult, now there's not a lot of buffs here, a lot of it's defense up, and there's offense up from Kestrel, but, they're all together, and so he can actually pull it from, like, almost all of them except for Shuri. So... I am checking the kits from time to time, because I'll be honest, I haven't memorized everything, and I was deciding what I wanted to do. So in this case, I actually went with the blind instead of the alt, and we blinded Pyro. Now, in some cases on this node, this is actually a bit of an issue. We did the special with Kestrel, and now Kestrel has all the buffs, and so I wanted to wait to this moment to then use T'Challa's ultimate to take all these buffs, as you can see here. Yeah, I'm looking at it again, but we're going to be taking all the buffs that basically was put onto Kestrel, and now it gets extended. So you can see right here, 3 turns of immunity, I think that's 2 turns of offense up, 3 turns of speed up, a lot of buffs evades as well, a lot of buffs going on. So this is a really, really nice skill. It is single target damage though, so do be careful about that one there. And we're moving along. We're kind of just playing it as normal. That's probably the most exciting thing on this node here. But it is pretty interesting that how, Magneto drawing you all together actually makes it better for T'Challa because there's more characters for him to possibly grab buffs off of. So I do think, and I want to say that T'Challa, this part here, because he's got like offense up for 2 more turns, his basic hits really hard because it's a single target attack, but it does do a lot of damage. Now, I also want to say that in this instance, T'Challa is running a Skirmisher ISO. He is blue 3 because it's the test server, but I switched to Skirmisher so that he had enhanced focus for landing that blind, which then is important for the ability energy drain rather. And that's what helps him get to his skills a little bit quicker, because T'Challa will basically start at 3 ability energy on his special every single time, assuming that you're landing the blind, and that's really important. So that's pretty much over. I mean, nothing more exciting to show here. That beginning part was kind of the most important thing. I'm just kind of like conserving my energy because we're going to move into the second node here. Yeah, so you have to land the blind in order to actually, steal the ability energy. If you don't land the blind, you're not going to be stealing ability energy. So all that's very important. So making sure you do that, that's why I gave him the Skirmisher ISO. I think it's quite important. Basically, this node is over, and I actually had a game crash on the playtest server, so that's why this video is... I got stuck at a loading time. So we're going to open up my second video that I have here of that. This is the second node. We're loading back in. And we start here. I kind of messed things up a little bit because I'm not used to how powerful T'Challa is, and I kind of screwed around with my cooldowns. Now, I used the ultimate here on Ghost, I think. Yep. Okay, so now I took the buffs that were starting from Kestrel. The problem is now we got Shield Security's taunt, and I got stuck on him a little bit earlier than I wanted to. Not really a big problem. I don't think this was a huge problem here. Now, I can't, I didn't take notes of every single thing I did. It's not really all that important. The T'Challa parts are the most important. I basically ran this the same way that I would have had I've been doing this on my game. And T'Challa is really powerful. Like, his damage stat is very high. So here we went for the reason why I went for the ability energy steal on Nick Fury was that to stop him from using his skills, at least in this node. Or did I use it? No, maybe yeah, I did. Okay, so I did end up getting my ability energy back in time as well for the boss node, which is really good. I think I paused for a moment because I wasn't sure if my ability energy would come back in time. So I want to say that for anyone, whether it's Doom 1 or Doom 2, preparing for that boss, which is the Doctor Doom in the boss nodes, make sure that T'Challa has enough ability energy going into the next node, otherwise he won't have the energy to do a special, steal the ability energy from Doom. So be careful about when you use it. Because, it is on a longer cooldown. It's 6, even though he's stealing ability energy and you start at like 3. Just keep in mind, though, that you need to make sure you have it fully ready for the boss nodes. And this is Doom 1 or Doom 2. So, again, we're going to fast forward this a little bit. After this point, I basically conserve my ability energy on T'Challa. I'm mostly using the basic at this point when I do come around him, just to make sure I have those ability cooldowns for him. So I do think that he's really good. Like I said, his damage stat is through the roof. He is, if you watched my video from the other day, that in the table, he has a top 3 damage stat alongside Ghost Spider and Phyla-Vell. That's because he has a damage stat passive caked into his kit. So he is a very powerful character. His damage stat is very high. So we're just going to move forward and move to the boss node here. And yeah, this is the Doom 1-1 tech boss node. You guys might be familiar with this. Now, this one is quite challenging because there's black bolts. Now, this is different from Doom 2. Doom 2 does not contain black bolts like this. This one has 2 black bolts. Really annoying when you're using villain tech characters like Doom and Doc Ock. It's not fun at all. The difference is I'm not using Nebula now, so that's a little bit better. So we're going to start this off here. And what's interesting, okay, so I go for the blind here. And we're going to see what happens. So if you guys noticed, I actually failed to land the blind here on Doctor Doom. So that's not good. So I didn't steal the ability energy. Now, that didn't matter too much, because I didn't actually need to do this, because you'll find out here that, well, I flipped these buffs, and then I actually did Time Platform on Doctor Doom, and I didn't actually need to land that. So there's enough damage going out here now that I can get Doctor Doom down. However, that was really disappointing, and I'm wondering, is this an issue? Is landing that blind an issue? I'm in Skirmisher, ISO, and I still didn't land it. So this is Doom 1-1 though. And actually I took a look. Doom 1-1's Doom has a higher power than Doom 2.0's Doom. I'm a little bit concerned though that if he got resisted here, is he going to get resisted on higher Doom difficulties? So like Doom 2-1, 2-2, 2-3, these kind of things. If the blind gets resisted, he's not going to steal the ability energy, and this could spell, well, Doom. For other difficulties and not getting that time platform. That's the whole point, especially in Doom 2, is making sure that you steal the ability energy. Because there's no ability blocks here. Unless you run Misty Knight, there's no raw way to ability block Doom. So that's a little bit of a problem. Now, here towards the end, because of the black bolts, I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit. I ended up getting effed over. There's a certain point here, like halfway through the node, I ended up getting really effed over from the black bolts. You can see here that kind of T'Challa is riding the line here on hit points a little bit. He is a glass cannon. His hit points are low, but his damage stats really high. So you need to make sure that you keep him healthy. Right when I have the problem is, I think when Electro, after I start losing my evades, he does, you can see how fast he heals up, because his hit points is so low. But there's a lot of instances here where he just does not take damage well, and you saw, I lost Shuri, so that really didn't help here. I actually didn't end up clearing this node, because right here towards the end, I ended up getting effed by basically the combination of these characters. I think it didn't help with Crystal. I tried to blind Black Bolt, and I did. But for some reason, all of these attacks just... There we go. Oh, boom, boom, boom. Did you see that? Okay, let's rewind that. T'Challa took a massive hit to the face there. Maybe I rewind. Right here. 328k crit. So maybe that was just really bad RNG. A, that it crit. And he probably would have survived a non-crit. But that did a lot of damage. And then T'Challa's down. So unfortunately, his hit point total is not very high. But he does a lot of other things good. So high risk, high reward, very strong character, low hit points. That's kind of the moral of the story here for Doom 1.1. I ended up losing, actually, so I lost all my characters towards the end. I think once I lost Shuri, things didn't go over that well. And so that's Doom 1.1, or Doom 1 in a nutshell. Let's go on over and look at Doom 2, where we kind of look at things in a little bit of a different light. This is Doom 2 tech. And if you notice, yeah, I'm having to core a lot on the playtest server because I was just using back-to-back energy, and I had to refresh that. Let's pull up our characters. I also had to manually fight my way through skill, so that's why you're seeing me heal here on Kestrel, because if this was tech, I probably would have entered at full health, but I was kind of autoing a lot on the playtest server. So we're doing the exact same team as we did on Doom 1, but the mechanics are a little bit different in terms of how you do things. So you guys might be familiar with this node, with the Drax and the Bishop. The way I play these is basically the same way that I play it out on my own personal account. I kind of play, so if you guys feel like I'm doing it wrong, I don't know, this is the same way I do it. So I tried, what did I do? I don't know, let's see. Yeah, I took the alt because I wanted to take the buffs from Kestrel. Sometimes I wait for the Kestrel special, but in this case I just decided to do that now. So here we go. We do have like 3 turns of offense up for T'Challa. Again, really, really nice because you take the buffs and then you extend it. So you're actually getting +1. So you're getting 3 from Kestrel. Or 2 from Kestrel +1, if that makes sense. So here, now I don't know if this was necessary, but I attempted to blind Cloak because you guys know that there's nothing worse than Cloak actually landing all of those debuffs on this node, for those of you who are familiar with Doom 2. So I don't know if I had to do this here or not because he ended up dropping pretty quickly. But I really didn't want Cloak to get any of his stuff off. And that was kind of the more important thing there. So he ended up dying really quickly. It could have been a bit of a waste of that blind. Maybe I should have done it on Colleen Wing to stop her from heal blocking. I don't know. It's a bit too late now. Maybe the strategy might vary a little bit. It didn't really impact me that much. You can notice that, well, Shuri is kind of riding the line here, as she always is. This is also a 7 yellow, 4 red Shuri. On my main account, I have a 7 yellow, 7 red Shuri. She survives a lot better than this one does. Believe it or not. And the basic. So, T'Challa has offense up. Oh, boy. Now, I'll have to redo that one. Anyways, so T'Challa, yeah, he does a lot of damage here. So if you saw that, it was almost like 500k or 400k-ish, in one shot. And then, of course, with the Kestrel ping, that really helps. Well, that means I can put my playlist back on because this part's not going up on YouTube. I don't like having my playlist running when I run my own personal YouTube music. So from here on, I'm just basically trying to conserve my cooldowns going into the second node. You can see Shuri. She's on like death's door. I'm like, oh my god, please don't kill Shuri. I get lucky, that she's not being targeted. But I am managed to heal her a little bit here. It's okay. I have a bad habit of like recording the same video 2 or 3 times because I screwed up somewhere or whatever. It's not a big deal. Loki has zoomies right now. He's going to be running around. Yeah, so unfortunately it's just a bit disruptive, and that's why I want to be a little bit more professional about making sure that there's not too much stuff in the background. One's fine, but like repeated like that, I don't like it. So, it's okay. It's more work for me. So we're going to go into the second node here. And I didn't heal, because I want to replicate what this would be like if I'm running this on my main account when I do get T'Challa. I mean, every content creator has their own comfort levels with, what they want to include in background sound. I try to keep it to a minimum, just so it doesn't... You know, what if you're watching this on the go, and you don't expect it? You know, sometimes I have a warning... Sometimes I have a warning sign. If it's like, if it's just once, you know, just so people know it's coming up. So this node, I don't know how everyone else plays this node. The way I play this is how I play it in my main account. So I normally do a Kestrel special in the middle on Doctor Strange, and I hit those 4 targets. I don't know if that's what everyone else does. That's just how I do it. And right here, I use the alt on Doctor Strange. I think. Yeah. And then but if you notice, now look at that. You know, like, T'Challa's got a crap... Not only did he get a kill, which means he got 30% turn bar, he's got so many buffs stacked up. 3 speed, 3 immunity, 3 defense up, 2 offense, and 2 evades. So, you know, there's a lot going on there. So he really needs this, and I honestly think this is the best positioning for T'Challa here, is being right next to Kestrel and Doom. Particularly Kestrel, because you're getting tons of buffs. The immunity helps to block you from if you get heal block, perhaps, as well at some point. You know, it's really good. So I think the best time to use the ultimate is after Kestrel does the special. I'm a little bit more liberal on my special as well. I guess part of the, you know, some people say to keep the Doom bots, but I'm a bit concerned that the Doom bots are going to die to an AoE. Or, you know, Black Panther or Gamora is going to kill them and get turn bar out of it. Usually focus Ironheart, because I don't want Ironheart to get to her ultimate, which drops the defense down on everyone. No, yeah, okay, so the reason why, you might have noticed I hesitated there for a minute, and that's because, or for a second, because I wanted to make sure, and people were telling me that in Tana's video that he did not save the special for the Doom boss node, and I wanted to make sure that I had the energy for the Doom boss node, so I hesitated because I was like, no, you know what, I'm just going to use basics, I'm going to try and rely on my basic to get through this without actually using the special cooldown. And I used the time platform because Shuri was at super critical health, and I just decided to do that now. And interestingly, it didn't matter. I didn't actually need the time platform for the boss node when we get there. So sometimes I'm making decisions about what I want to do because I'm not sure sometimes, you know, when it comes to cooldowns. And you guys will notice when we get to the Web Warrior footage, like, how fast they kill. So T'Challa is really powerful, and I think he's pushing up how fast you kill it, how fast you clear a node, which means that you're not getting as long of a time to save your cooldowns. So I have to be very careful about not blowing my cooldowns. I have my ult back up, this is all good. So T'Challa's back up to full, this is good for going into the boss node. I have not tried Science of Supreme on the test server for buff flips. I really would like to do that, though. Her base stats are really low, her hit points is low, so I'm not sure if she'll survive. You would have to run her in place of T'Challa until T'Challa comes out, and I don't know if it's worth it. I would just stick with whatever you're doing right now until T'Challa comes out, and possibly... So you guys might have seen there that that Shuri just bit it. So my Shuri on my main account would not have bit it, because she's 7 red. But this version did. The special just did too much damage, just RNG. She was the lowest hit points and she bit it. So I did revive her. Because, you know, revives are very common in the tech lane. I'm sure a lot of you guys who are running Doom 2 have revived from time to time in tech lane. So it just happens, right? Just bad RNG. That doesn't mean T'Challa's bad. It just means that you're using the best of the worst characters for tech right now. So, yeah, I had to spend 500 cores to refresh that. Can you believe that if this wasn't the test server? So here we are with the boss node here with a reviving Shuri, and we're going to go back into action, and we got all full cooldowns on T'Challa as well. And you might be a little bit surprised with exactly what happens here. Maybe. And we're going to watch the full thing, because I think it's important, especially for this boss node. So again, I don't know how you guys do this, but I do things a particular way. And you know, you feel free to tell me if I'm wrong or not, or if you do something a little bit easier, feel free to enlighten me on your strategy. So normally what I do here is I'm going to do a special on Kestrel right here on the 4 of them over here, and not actually over on the right hand side. But we go for the blind, and I just pulled it for 1 time for the graphic. I actually quite like the graphic here. So we did blind Doom, and now we steal the 2 ability energy. Great, that's what we want. So now he's 2 down, which makes him, I think, 3 down from his ultimate, actually. So that's good, because he still needs to take a turn normally until he hits below 50%. I do the Kestrel special here. To maximize that, I flip with the Doc Ock ultimate. Interestingly, did not flip on Polaris or Captain Marvel for some reason. But this is what it is. We got heal blocked, unfortunately. I actually blow up. And so the reason why I use the special quite liberally is because when you use Time Platform, you take enough turns to actually get back around to the special. So it doesn't really matter. More damage, pings the defense down, adds a heal block, those kind of things. Maybe that's why I'm Polaris. So right now, if you got... So I fucked up here. I forgot that I had Disrupt, and I used the ultimate. I was trying to be clever. I was like, Kestrel has a lot of buffs, and actually we got pulled together next to Doom, I think, as well. And I tried to use the ultimate. I fucked up. I was like, I forgot I'm disrupted. And I didn't get the buffs, unfortunately. So that's a bit of a problem here on this node, because Polaris is there. Polaris putting Disrupt really kind of fucks around with T'Challa. And it's 2 turns as well, because he's Tech. Polaris gets Disrupt for 2 turns on Tech? Is that a special thing that her ult does against Tech characters? I don't remember now. And so, wow, Kestrel almost bit it as well, but she survived. The trooper that she is. And everyone's like at death's door. Honestly, like, Shuri's at death's door again. She's always at death's door. But we somehow managed to get through. I put on the slow. I like putting slows on different targets here. And we're going in on Doom, and he dies. So Doom is down before getting Time Platform. And this is really important, actually. So you don't need to 2-shot this anymore with T'Challa. I know this looks really grim. We're going to finish watching the video, but I do end up making it, believe it or not. I come back from the grave a little bit here. Heal up with Shuri. Now, again, if that was my Shuri, I would have healed a lot more than that. Do the special. I know I'm disrupted on 2 characters. I do it anyways. And we're just kind of going through the motions here at the moment. We come back from the grave, like I said. Once Shuri takes her turn, she's going to heal up. Now, I did a basic here, because I'm saving my cooldowns, the special, the T'Challa special, for the next wave here. So, obviously, you guys know this wave's not very fun either. I did the special for everyone else, even though Shuri was disrupted. I put a slow on Long Shot, because I really don't want to take I don't want him to take his turn. Now, this is interesting here. I decided to blind and steal energy from Shatterstar for a second time. And the reason why I did that is because he does a defense down on his special. That's normally what he opens with. And I do not want defense down on my entire team, because that could really fuck around with me. So I decided to do that here and steal his energy. So that basically means he's not going to get it. I get, you know, my special back around on Kestrel. And from here, things look really good. I just do the Time Platform because why not? I don't use Doom in Mystic. I use Eternals and New Warriors, so I can do whatever the hell I want with Doom because it's not going to matter after this. So I just go balls to the wall here, blow everything up, they'll get flattened. And that's basically it. You can see on the timer here that even with me hesitating a couple of times, you know, I still cleared this with good time. One last blind. Didn't really need to do that. Didn't really matter. But look at that. Look at that. So I know it's at the very end, but look at all those buffs. Deflex, immunity, defense up. All of this is 3 of them. 3 speed up, 3 deflect, 3 immunity, 3 defense, 2 offense up, 3 evades. It's crazy, especially if you accidentally get pulled together by Polaris or something like that. And it's over. So I could have cleared this in about 3 minutes. I cleared this in about 3 minutes 33. I probably could have get it quicker. The point is that you didn't need to two-shot this like you normally. Sometimes I would say most of the times you do now. Like with me, I actually two-shot this, or I go in once and someone else clears it. But normally that's how it is. So now with T'Challa, you can, now granted this is a pretty big T'Challa, so will this happen live with your T'Challa? It depends on how big he is, but I think it's highly possible that you could do that now. It's very specific on the times that you'll want to use your cooldowns. He is a very cooldown specific character, so you can't just go in there, auto it, and think you're going to win. You know, you need to make sure that you're using your cooldowns at very specific times, the special, especially the special, and then making sure you're maximizing that ultimate to take the buffs from everyone else, and making sure you position him next to Kestrel and Doom. I think that's probably the best place to put him, and it's really, really nice. This is Doom 2.0. I will be doing tests on 2.1 and above in the coming days. How the test server works is I can't launch multiple Doom 2s, you know, just like in the real game, so I'll have to wait until this one finishes before I can test 2.1, and I'm going to keep going up with tech just to see, is there a point where there's a struggle, both for tech and for web warriors. I got some web warrior clips I'm going to show you as well, so that will be interesting too. But hopefully you guys found that a little bit interesting anyways.